glowing lime green shipping container. On the side, a mysterious logo, Chromacopia Trucking Company.
The label had a clear vision. It wasn't just about selling records. It was about building a community and championing a specific sound that would come to define an era.
That I am ridiculously excited about. Imagine your favorite slasher films from the 80s. Think Halloween, think Friday the 13th, but with a twist.
The master of the album rollout, the king of cryptic marketing, the one and only Tyler, the Creator.
Or fiercely political. Alongside other indie powerhouses like Epitaph Records, Fat Wreck Chords was fundamental in shaping the sound of 90s punk.
That's right. We're talking about a skateboarding horror film. So, picture this.
All right, let's talk about the master of the album rollout, the king of cryptic marketing, the one and only Tyler, the Creator. Just when you think you've figured him out, he drops an entire universe on us. And his latest project, Chromacopia, might be his most ambitious one yet. It's not just an album, it's a full-blown ARG, a moving art installation, and a cinematic experience all rolled into one. So grab your green jacket and questionable haircut, because we're diving deep into the world of Chromacopia, a massive matte green semi-truck hauling a single, almost glowing lime green shipping container. On the side, a mysterious logo, Chromacopia Trucking Company. What is it? A new Amazon competitor? A front for an alien invasion? Nope, it's Tyler. Of course it's Tyler. These trucks started popping up in major cities like Atlanta and Houston, and the internet went into a full-blown detective mode. This wasn't just some random stunt. This was the first piece of the puzzle. The Chromacopia Trucking Company perfectly set the stage. It represented a journey, a delivery. Tyler was literally and figuratively trucking his new era across the country, delivering a payload of new music and a whole new aesthetic. It's this kind of real-world immersive storytelling that sets him apart. He doesn't just tweet new album Friday. He makes you feel like you're part of a secret mission to uncover it. And if the giant, mysterious trucks weren't enough, there was the phone number. You might remember the 1-855-444-888 number from the Call Me If You Get Lost era. Well, Tyler reactivated it. If you called, you'd get a new voicemail about the Chromacopia Trucking Company, saying that drivers were unavailable. It added this layer of interactive mystery, making fans feel like they were calling the headquarters of this strange, clandestine operation. It turned the album release into a massive, collective scavenger hunt. And honestly, it's genius. Then we get the visuals. The first teaser for the song Sank Chroma drops, and it is pure chaos and style. You've got this stark, moody color palette, dark, muty greens and black, punctuated by that single pop of toxic electric lime green. And there's Tyler sporting this unique bowl-cut pageboy hairstyle. He's wearing a military-style green uniform, sometimes with a dark mask, fully embodying this new character. It's rugged, it's a little weird, it's intense. It's the uniform of the Chromacopia truck driver, the delivery man of this new sound. The video itself is cinematic and surreal, with that iconic shot of a green storage container exploding. It was a loud, clear signal. A new era has arrived, and it's going to be explosive. So who is this character? This driver of the Chromacopia story? We're calling him Saint Chroma. This persona seems to be a traveler, a worker, someone on a mission. The whole aesthetic, the uniform, the truck, the journey screams hard work, enterprise, and the physical act of carrying a creation forward. Tyler isn't just an artist. He's a foreman, an operator, overseeing the delivery of his most personal project yet. It's a powerful metaphor for the labor of art. Now, let's get to the album itself. Chromacopia. What does that even mean? Chroma refers to the purity or intensity of a color. So, Chromacopia could be interpreted as a land of vibrant color, a place of intense feeling. This album is a continuation of the lush, jazzy, meticulously produced hip-hop and R&B sound we heard on Flower Boy and Igar, but it feels more grounded, more personal, and that's because of the album's central concept. It's framed as a diary, piecing together Tyler's perspectives on his past, his growth, and life lessons. And who narrates this diary? Who is the guiding voice? His own mother, Bonita Smith. This adds an incredible layer of vulnerability and authenticity. We're hearing about Tyler's journey into adulthood, his reflections on his childhood in LA, all through the lens of the person who knows him best. It's a beautiful, raw concept that connects the St. Chroma persona back to his roots. The rugged traveler is still a son, guided by his mother's wisdom. The themes are all about maturity, authenticity, and finding your own vibrant color in a world of muted tones. It's about shedding old skins and embracing who you are, flaws and all. The title Chromacopia suggests a quest for this vibrancy, for a life lived at full intensity, separated from the dullness, and listening to the album feels like you're on that journey with him. Of course it wouldn't be a Tyler album without an all-star cast of collaborators. Chromacopia is stacked with features from incredible artists like Daniel Caesar, Dolce Glorilla, the legendary Lil Wayne, Santa Gold, Schoolboy Q, and more. Each feature feels perfectly placed, adding new textures and perspectives to the story Tyler is telling. He's like a master film director, casting the perfect actors for each role in his sonic movie. The production is just flawless, blending genres seamlessly and creating a soundscape that is both complex and incredibly beautiful. So, when you put it all together, what message is Tyler conveying? It's about craftsmanship on the highest level. It's about artistic control and the power of building a complete world around your music. He didn't just drop an album, he delivered an experience. The trucks, the phone number, the St. Chroma persona, the cinematic videos, the green color scheme, it all works together to tell a cohesive story. He forced us, the fans, to engage, to piece the clues together, and to become part of the narrative. The Chromacopia Trucking Company wasn't just a marketing gimmick. It was a visual representation of the journey, the hard work to cross-country haul. The delivery of a precious cargo is art. It's a statement that great art isn't just made. It's transported, delivered, and shared with intention and care. From the very first mysterious truck sighting to the final note of the album, Chromacopia is a masterclass in modern artistry. It's immersive, it's mysterious, and it's deeply personal. Tyler, the creator, continues to push the boundaries of what an album rollout can be, proving that the journey to the music can be just as compelling as the music itself. He's not just making songs, he's building worlds, and he's inviting all of us to come and explore them. What a ride! What a delivery! Thank you so much for watching and diving into the world of Chromacopia with me. What's your favorite part of this whole rollout? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing for more deep dives into the music you love. It really helps the channel out. Catch you in the next one.
All I know is I'm not wrong. If I stay too long, I just might lose the fight and never make it back. So count me in this time around. I can't sit down 'cause I'm going to win someday. You don't care what I want to be, it's for that so I love me and you. You gotta run to my thousand times, I tell you no way. Now black and white won't go away. Look around, look at me, look at them, and then you see, look at
What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today, we re-diving deep into the history of one of the most iconic and influential independent record labels in punk rock history. Fat Wreck Chords. If you grew up in the 90s, chances are this label provided the soundtrack to your skateboarding fails, your road trips, and your teenage angst. So grab your headphones and let's get into it. Fat Wreck Chords was founded back in 1990 in San Francisco. Who started it? None other than Fat Mike Burkett, the legendary bassist and lead singer of NOFX, alongside his then-wife, Erin Burkett. From the very beginning, the label had a clear vision. It wasn't just about selling records. It was about building a community and championing a specific sound that would come to define an era. The label became the epicenter for melodic hardcore and skate punk. Think fast-paced, high-energy guitar riffs, catchy melodies, and lyrics that were either hilariously satirical or fiercely political. Alongside other indie powerhouses like Epitaph Records, Fat Wreck Chords was fundamental in shaping the sound of 90s punk. They weren't just a label. They were a seal of quality. If an album had that Fat Wreck Chords logo on it, you knew it was going to be good. During its peak, the label was a machine, releasing over 300 albums and selling millions of records every year. This wasn't just some small indie operation. It was a major force in the music industry, all while fiercely maintaining its independent ethos. Fat Mike and Erin created a business model that was notoriously artist-friendly. They offered fair deals, often just a one-page contract, and fostered a family-like atmosphere that was rare in the cutthroat music world. This commitment to punk rock culture and DIY principles is a huge part of the label's lasting legacy. Now let's talk about the bands because the roster is just insane. It's a who's who of punk rock royalty. Of course, you have NOFX, Fat Mike's own band. Albums like 1994's Punk and Drublic are considered absolute masterpieces of the genre, perfectly blending humor, social commentary, and blistering speed. Then there's Lagwagon, another cornerstone of the Fat Wreck sound. Albums like Trashed Hoss and Let's Talk About Feelings are essential listening. Joey Cape's vocals and the band's technical skill set a standard for melodic punk that countless others would try to replicate. We also have to talk about No Use for a Name. From the raw energy of Lech Karn to the polished perfection of Asterisk More Betterness. Asterisk, they were one of the label's most beloved bands. The tragic passing of frontman Tony Sly in 2012 was a devastating loss for the entire punk community. But his music continues to inspire fans all over the world. And the list just keeps going. We have the politically charged and incredibly technical Propagandhi, whose early albums like How to Clean Everything are classics. Then there's the hardcore-tinged punk of Good Riddance, with powerful albums like A Comprehensive Guide to Modern Rebellion. And who could forget the ultimate punk rock supergroup cover band, Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, who could turn any pop song into a punk rock anthem. The roster is stacked with other incredible acts like Strung Out, Rise Against, Face to Face, Mad Caddies, Dillinger 4, and the Swinging Utters. Each band brought their own unique flavor to the label, but they all shared that core DNA of passion, energy, and authenticity that defined Fat Wreck Chords. Recently, in 2024, the label entered a new chapter. Fat Wreck Chords sold its extensive catalog to Hopeless Records. But in a move that's pure Fat Mike, he also reportedly forgave millions of dollars in debt owed to the label by its artists. It's a move that perfectly encapsulates the label's punk-first, business-second mentality and solidifies its legendary status. Even as the business structure changes, the impact and the music remain timeless. Fat Wreck Chords wasn't just a label that released records. It was a cultural institution. It gave a platform to bands who might have otherwise been ignored by the mainstream and created a global community united by a love for fast, melodic punk rock. The music they released has stood the test of time and continues to influence new generations of bands and fans. So, what's your favorite Fat Wreck Chords band or album? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories about discovering these bands for the first time. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this trip down punk rock memory lane, make sure to hit that like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. We'll see you in the next one.
Alright, what's up everyone? Today, we're diving into a project that I am ridiculously excited about. Imagine your favorite slasher films from the 80s. Think Halloween, think Friday the 13th, but with a twist. Now, throw in the gritty, high-octane energy of a classic skate video. That's right, we're talking about a skateboarding horror film. So, picture this, a group of skaters, let's call them the Ramp Rats, decide to break into an abandoned, legendary skate park. This place is the stuff of myths, closed down for years after a mysterious, tragic accident. The locals whisper that it's haunted, cursed, but our crew. They just want to skate the untouched, pristine bowls and half-pipes that no one has touched in decades. The film opens with that classic skate video vibe. We see our crew, the charismatic leader, the tech-obsessed filmer, the rookie trying to prove themselves, and the laid-back, funny one who's just there for a good time. The first act is all about the camaraderie, the tricks, the fails, and the pure joy of skateboarding. Their landing lines, hyping each other up, and the filmer is capturing it all on a grainy, retro camera. The humor is key here. We'll have classic skate-style banter, inside jokes, and maybe a few wipeouts set to a killer punk rock soundtrack. But as night falls, the vibe shifts. The lights they rigged up start to flicker. Strange noises echo from the deep end of the empty pool. The filmer's camera starts picking up weird glitches, shadows moving in the background that weren't there before. At first, they brush it off. Old park, bad wiring, right? They're skaters. They're used to sketchy spots. They make jokes, daring each other to skate the darkest corners of the park. This is where the horror really kicks in. One of the skaters goes missing. They were just trying to land a trick in the full pipe, and then silence. The rest of the group starts searching, their jokes turning to nervous whispers. The park, which felt like a playground just hours before, now feels like a labyrinth. The ramps cast long, menacing shadows, and every scrape of a skateboard wheel sounds like a footstep behind them. Our villain isn't your typical masked killer with a knife. No, our antagonist is tied to the history of the park itself. Maybe it's the ghost of a legendary skater who died trying an impossible trick. Their spirit now jealously guarding the park from anyone who dares to skate it. Or perhaps it's something even stranger, a presence that warps the park's very geometry. Imagine a skater trying to escape, only to find the ramp they're riding on is suddenly an endless loop, or the coping tom of rear-bar grind turns into a razor's edge. The scares are built around the environment. A skateboard rolling out of the darkness on its own. The sound of a kickflip in an empty section of the park. The filmer, reviewing footage, sees a shadowy figure on a board mirroring their friends' tricks in the background of a shot, getting closer and closer with each take. The tension builds through sound design, the echo of wheels, the clatter of a board, the sudden, deafening silence. We'll have some amazing set pieces, a chase scene through a winding snake run, where the killer is just as agile on a board as our heroes. A tense moment where a character has to use their skateboard as a weapon to fend off an attack. We'll lean into that 80s horror feel, but the action and the kills are all uniquely Think less about jump scares and more about a creeping, atmospheric dread that uses the unique sounds and spaces of a skate park to its full advantage. The humor will be a vital release valve. Even as things get terrifying, our skaters are still skaters. They'll react to a ghostly apparition with, "Whoa, That was a sick wall ride, dude, before the terror sets in. This blend of humor and horror is crucial. It makes the characters relatable and makes the scary moments hit even harder because you genuinely care about this crew. The climax would be an epic final confrontation in the park's biggest bowl. Our final skater, the final girl or final guy of the story, has to use all their skill and knowledge of the park to survive. It's not just about escaping. It's a showdown. A final, insane skate line becomes a battle for survival, with our hero trying to out-trick and outmaneuver the supernatural force that has been hunting them all night. It's Aliens meets Thrasher, King of the Road. We're aiming for a long-form feature. Build in the world and the characters so you're fully invested before the chaos begins. It's not just a series of events. It's a story with heart, humor, and some serious scare. The goal is to create something that feels both nostalgic and totally fresh, a movie that both horror fans and skaters will love. It's a tribute to two cultures that are all about rebellion, creativity, and facing your fears head-on. So, that's the big idea. A skateboarding horror film that's funny, scary, and full of action. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Would you watch this? What kind of crazy skate-themed horror scenes can you imagine? I'd love to hear your ideas. Thanks for tuning in. And if you dig this concept, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any updates. Peace.